Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Also on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingishard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon. Hello. How are you?
Yo. Doing
off.
well.
Let's talk about it.
2 weeks off. Somehow it feels like nothing happened, though. Went to Turnstile last week. That was a fucking blast. Felt like everybody was there. Probably last time you get to see them outside of some insane. Chris is saying no. I don't know what he's talking about.
Wasn't there.
Oh.
Not
everybody wasn't there. I was home.
Yeah, everybody but Chris was was there. Jesus Christ. I'm like, can you not hear me? All right, hot start. We're moving.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it during the week, but I kept hearing people were getting COVID again. So do I feel sick? Didn't feel sick. Saturday, drive back to where I grew up for a Memorial Day weekend party. Stop at Ross to get a bathing
Ross
suit.
for less?
I got one. Yeah.
Nice.
Walk in that dress for less, and I'm like, right there, sore throat, nose, there it is. Turned around, got back in my car, and went back. So that was
It was the rug.
you take a couple swallows, you're like, is that a sore throat or is that just one bad one?
Yep.
Like, nope, this is coming. So,
I know that feeling. You get that like itchiness that's not, it's like almost into your nose itchiness. You're like, this ain't good. This ain't good. This is a bad sign.
I can't just like swallow this one away. Yeah. So that's pretty much it over here.
Chris, how are you?
I am well, sir.
Did anything exciting happen?
This, Memorial Day, sun, fun, swimming. Ate a hot dog, ate a hamburger, barbecue chicken. Solemn holiday.
What's
solemn holiday for
solemn?
the memory of our
fallen.
I did listen to somebody bitch and moan that people get too happy on Memorial Day and they should, they shouldn't be happy.
We should go to church, honestly. Everybody should. Yeah. All the time.
On a Monday, yeah.
I dismissed that person and I went home and had barbecued.
Did they serve the country?
No.
No, they were just opinionated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quietly opinionated, just to me. It wasn't really. I just said, okay. I wasn't angry. He was just voicing an opinion.
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't go to church. I would still eat a fucking hot dog. Ain't nobody stopping me from eating hot dogs.
It's the only time of year I eat hot dogs.
I take hot dogs and I jam them in my mouth like that guy in the Guinness Book of World Records with the cigarettes. And jam them all in. And I light them all on the grill.
So you're smoking, dude?
Yep. That dude.
Mm-hmm.
You would think
that's all I got.
Yeah, Brandon.
No, I've never served, so I can't say, but if I were to die and there was a day off of work due to my death, I would like to think I would want people to have a good time on that day off, not to sit there and
we went to a family member's funeral recently, and I was sitting next to or nearby. Oh no, I said it to my wife, and we were sitting there, and there was some piety. This person was not pious. There was piety. There's a priest. There's a whole thing. Everybody was very dour. I leaned over to my wife, and I'm like, when I die, I want everyone to sit around and stare at my corpse and be miserable. That's what I want to happen. Then I want it to happen every year. There you go.
Never bury me. Just leave me. Prop me up in the living room.
Yes. Like a stuffed animal.
What's that called?
Taxidermy?
Yeah, taxidermy. Taxidermy me in the living room and the date of my death.
I want to be put in state.
I got us a hot take.
Okay, hot takes. Here we go.
Hot take. Person I know in the military said that they would want everybody to have fun on Memorial Day and not just cry.
Of course.
There you go. Hot take, people.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think it's that hot because I think most people would agree. No one's going like, more people should be solemn during holidays. Christmas?
Yeah. Jim.
No such thing.
This Christ died for your sins. Yeah, that's Easter, dude.
That's Easter. All right, that's the worst holiday, by the way.
The crappiest holidays.
Fucking ham. Give me a break.
Ham and Sunday. Fucking quiet ham. Jimmy getting drunk when he's 8. It's
right.
fucking party.
Plastic eggs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Taking pictures in a pastel button-up shirt.
Yep.
A suit with sleeves that come down to like right there.
Yeah.
Walking down the street.
Church. Anything
Yeah.
involving church.
Oh,
Church always
Fuck church.
long ass church. We were just talking about this the other day when
The
you know, when we
Stations
were-
of the cross.
when we were kids, we would get our mother would give us like little gifts for Easter, never super expensive, but they'd be something in the Easter basket, and we would open them and we would play with them. And as soon as you really started getting rocking and rolling with this new little cheapo toy you had, you got like yanked up and stuffed into some fucking shitty ass suit and taken over to St. Albert the Great's, who by all accounts was not that great.
Yeah, I think
And because that church wasn't great at all. And it was like, not only was it church, but it was like super church where it was
Yeah.
long.
Easter church is the
Fuck.
worst.
Oh, fuck.
Brandon, Roman Catholic or no?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the
Big
worst.
church. Oh,
Like, there's nothing fun about it. Sit, kneel, stand, sing. Sometimes
Never
they splash
confirmed,
you with
though.
some holy water.
both my parents were like, they got drugged to church as kids, and they started off, we had to go to church, and then by the time I was like 8, they kind of just gave up, stuck in CCD up until like whatever that last thing is.
Yeah,
Till I was like 12. My dad we would get in the car, we're supposed to go, and then be like, you want to just go to Burger King, get a Whopper, go to Blockbuster instead? Tell mom you went. So
there you go. I stole the donation money and played video games instead.
I got caught.
hell for that.
Oh, of course I got caught because the tithe didn't show up and I got ratted out by the priest.
The tithe.
Isn't
I was
that the
gonna say-
worst though? One of my friends died like in January, and I know the fucking guy didn't go to church, and I had to listen to that. Like whoever the local priest was at the church that he went to when he was like a child, do like a 15 minutes on how cool he was. I don't
the
know
worst.
why they do. That's like one thing that's got to go from funerals is like for some reason that if it's a religious funeral, they have to have the local fucking guy speak about the person that you know they didn't know at all, and it's like
Right.
they do a 4-minute story about how they ran into him in a Redner's. It's just like you got nothing on it. Just let the guy die.
I got a one up on that story.
Go ahead.
I went to a funeral one time. It was a military funeral, and the church was talking about God and the love of God and God and God and God, and the fucking guy in the box was a fucking legit witch. He was a Wicca. Legit. Ex-Marine Wicca. And he's talking about God, God, God. And this dude was as pagan as they come.
That's
When I'm dead, I'm
fantastic.
making you all go to church. That's it. I'm putting that in my will right now.
Ain't fucking go. When I'm dead, they're going to float me in Newton Lake. Newton Swamp behind
Is
my
that what's
house.
behind your house? Is that called
Yeah.
Newton Lake?
Newton Lake.
There's lots of newts.
Mhm.
There you go. Dad jokes.
Have an intermission in your funeral outfit change like a Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
It's like 4 hours.
Yeah. This is from Louis Vuitton. Start spinning the box around.
They changed their outfit in their funeral. I fucking love that.
I like it.
Anyway,
Should we talk about wrestling?
Let's do it.
We'll talk about fun stuff, unfun stuff. What do you want to talk about? Pick something. Not AEW yet. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Let's start with unfun, then we'll just go into the role of fun. Let's get the
Okay.
unfun out of the way.
Let's get the unfun out of the way. So Kota Ibushi update. I know everybody's dying for him to come back. Here's some news. This is all just speculation. I watched the press conference, which was in Japanese, so I had to wait for the translation. New Japan had a press conference. They basically said they met up with him, had some discussions, trying to work together with him. Then Ibushi went out and basically said, like, the press conference isn't true. His mother, apparently, when she found out the troubles he was having, that he might lose his job, his mom is like a super fan of his and possibly dealing with some mental issues. She attempted suicide when and she fell and fucked her hip up. So now she's in the hospital. And I don't believe Kota Ibushi's going back to New Japan, which is very sad because I think I can speak for the two of you, all three of us, been saying that we are huge fans of Kota Ibushi. He's fun to watch. He's fun live. He's real good looking. He's real fit, and he's puts his fucking heart on his sleeve when he goes out there. And it's going to be a shame if he doesn't come back. Brandon, thoughts?
yeah, that's a fucking bummer. I don't totally know what happened from the point of the press conference where it sounded like cooler heads were prevailing to him now being out. You have any more detail on that?
Something about, I mean, you're getting this from second-hand translations because it's right from his Twitter feed. Something about the timeline not being correct, and he hasn't been apologized to from this Kikuchi guy, this guy that's like the long-term booker of New Japan. And it seems like he's pretty pissed off, and he's not ready to come back. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. But I would, I was a glimmer of hope there. It sounded like they didn't go the Carney route there at first, and we're like, oh, Kota has a point. We're gonna, talk to him and create better policies. That doesn't fly as much if you never actually speak to the person who's pissed at you in the first place and just go hold a press conference. So
Right,
that's what happened.
I guess Obari and there's two guys in charge of New Japan. One's the Bushi Road guy, and the other guy's the New Japan guy. And both of them, well, one of them said that he met up with him, went to his gym. He said he took some bumps. It's just like a whole thing, but I don't know. I don't see this. This isn't going to end well, I don't think. And I don't think Kota Ibushi's in a point where he's like, I need a paycheck. He could go anywhere and become one of their highest paid stars. I guess it's more about taking care of his mom at this point. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, just all around weird. And there's really not much more to say. This is just all around very strange. Lots of lies, wrestling, carny ass fucking lies, man.
Yep. Ibushi hired some lawyers too, so this could get ugly. Best of luck to him. Any final thoughts on that, Brandon? Good.
No, I really don't. Just ugly stuff. It sounds like. Hopefully, it doesn't continue to get uglier, and they get some resolution for better, for worse, as far as my fandom. I don't care about that at this point. Like, I just don't want this to be something that goes on for 2 years and gets ugly, like you're referring to.
Yeah, and of course, it's like if he doesn't come back, and it's mom's health is much more important than him coming back and pretend fighting for me, making me happy. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's all right, buddy. Take care of yourself first. Quit if you need to. All right, so let's talk about real quick. We'll talk about Best of Super Junior. So the final is coming up, I believe, tonight or early morning tomorrow. So a couple of things. I'm not going to tell anybody that they have to go out of their way to watch it. I would say if you were thinking about watching it, certain names that you should go out of your way to watch would be, believe it or not, Show was really entertaining in this. I've watched a couple of his matches, like comedy stuff. He's doing a lot of goofy ass shit. Anything with that Desperado, who we love. El Lindemann from Gleek Wrestling. He's been really good. El Phantasmo has been really good. Robbie Eagles has been very good. And believe it or not, TJP has been very good. But the final has been decided. We got out of the A block, we got Hiromu Takahashi, former champ, against El Desperado from the B block, also former champ. Current champ right now is Taiji Ishimori. Brandon, thoughts?
Seems like reviews are overall positive. I haven't checked any of it out to this point. I don't know if TJP's and Show are going to get me to tune in regardless of how good their matches were, to be fair. But that's a fantastic final, at least on paper. So maybe check that out. At least seems like something's moving in the right direction over there.
Right. I mean, in one match in particular, people are going crazy for is Robbie Eagles and El Phantasmo. So I would say definitely go out of your way to check that out. That and El Lindemann and El Desperado, which I did watch. That was good. I haven't caught up. I'm not completely caught up on it, and I'm probably not going to be caught up, but I'll try
what
my
is
best.
Lindemann?
El Lindemann, he's the guy from Gleek. He's like orange, tanned, and he's got bleach blonde hair. Gleek. Chris,
yeah, same thing Brandon said. I haven't really checked any. Didn't really have much interest in this. But that final sounds like it's a lot of fun, worth watching. So if that's up, I'll make a point of going. I'll go out of my way and watch that Super Juniors final.
I saw on their official account they showed a picture of Alex Zane's, New Japan's official account. Alex Zane, he's the red guy, right? Alex Zane. He his line, apparently he's a big hit over there. His line for kids getting signatures from him and get stuff signed was like around the block. So it's good to see these guys get some fresh blood in there, get some guys in there, some exposure. Good old Wheeler Yuta, he's got 10 points, which isn't terrible. He did a promo, and we'll talk about what he's talking about in a little bit, where he's saying he's going to come after the Jericho Association. Going to get you. So there you go. Anything else? before I move on? Brandon?
No, I'm good.
Christopher?
No, I think we got it.
How many hours you put in?
I have the Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah.
See, I watched about two. I don't know. I watched a few shows, but I skipped through them.
Okay.
So apparently, I missed a couple of entertaining matches by skipping through them. But I didn't really. I mean, honestly, I did watch a lot of wrestling in the last 2 weeks because we were off last night. But most of it was catching up on AEW. I joined Ice Ribbon's YouTube channel so I can watch their stuff. And I think that's it. Oh, I watched the Hana Kimura memorial show, which is really fun. I got my wrestling in. I don't watch hockey, so not anymore. So I'm like, I got plenty of spare time.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I was just gonna say, man, that's like 20 hours of shit. How do people have the time? That I probably burnt 20 hours fucking around on Xbox and watching the NHL playoffs.
Right. It depends on what your scale of importance and what you watch. I don't watch anything. Like people are going crazy for basketball, and I'm just like, I don't care. All right, let's move on. How about we'll talk real quick because it's going to be airing, I believe, tomorrow. Real quick, we'll go through this because this is getting really good reviews too, even though I haven't seen any of it. The Stardom Flashing Champions show. Real quick, we'll go through some of the matchups. We got a six-man tag match between the Cosmic Angels and Prominence. So we get a little Suzuki again. High-speed title match, Izumi versus Thekla. Chris is a big fan of Thekla. The SWA belt, we get Mayo Iwatani against Fukigen Des, who says she can fight for the title because you're only supposed to be non-Japanese. Well, you can't. The same nationality can't face each other. Mayo Iwatani being Japan, Fukigen Death says she's from outer space. So there you go.
That makes sense. I mean,
that's
logic's flawless.
There you go. And that's getting rave reviews, that match. Kairi and Tom Nakano versus the Queen's Quest team, which is pretty good because it's Utami Hayashita and Mio Amazaki, who is their super rookie. She's like 20 years old. And they did a promo where Kairi Sane's like, here's a picture of me when it was like my first match. And she's got this huge shiner. She says that Tommy's taking it easy on her. So I'm expecting this match to have Kairi beating the little fucking piss out of Mew, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, she beat the shit out of Unagi in that match in the last big show, so should be pretty good. Got a Stardom title match. We got Stars, who's their team is crazy. Fukuoka Crazy. That's Hazuki and Koguma versus Julia and Mai Sakurai, who's Donna Del Monte. Everybody loves Julia. What else do we got? The Stardom title, the triple threat. We got the Wonder of Stardom title. We got Kamitani versus Mirai, who won the Cinderella tournament. And then a big one, we got the World of Stardom title. We got Siri versus Risa Sera. So pretty stacked show. It is getting rave reviews. Of course, we have to wait 5 days because I'm not paying for a pay-per-view if I already pay $10 a month or whatever it is. It's 1,000 yen, so it's basically $7 a month. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. I don't know if I've seen Miyamasaki yet. I can't think of that one, but everything I've watched of Kairi and Stardom's been pretty fucking entertaining, so definitely watch that. Fukigen Death from Outer Space. Sounds like that warrants my time, 10 minutes, however long they go. Suzuki, check that out. So maybe 3 or 4 in there I can dedicate some time to.
Chris, thoughts? Chris, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm excited about this GIF I sent you. Siri getting baseball batted by Risa Sera is pretty fucking good.
Ugh, God, with the kendo stick.
Yep.
Yeah, it's horrible. Ugh, I hate to see that stuff. That stuff drives me crazy. But other than that, it's this whole card seems like a lot of fun. Give me something exciting to watch because there ain't shit.
No. Wait until what's that lady's name? The one that's black belt in judo who said she's going to go fight Julia. What's her name?
The one from
AEW.
Yeah, whatever.
The hell's her name?
Tai Conti.
Tai Conti. She wants to go fight Julia. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your Stardom update. There's your New Japan update. Some updates on Ibushi. If you guys have anything else you want to add to anything, just let me know. We've gotten some reviews. I've gotten direct messages from some people. They fucking love us, which is pretty good. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the reviews we get. We're having a good time here. It's a good way to burn a Tuesday night for us. And I I like positive reinforcement. Tell us how great we are. Thank you.
I will send all of our fans autograph photos for $50 a piece. Just Venmo me, and we'll
a little bit more than
out.
that because I had to pay our hosting service, and it was a little expensive. So
$51 a piece.
Not Patreon, but what's it called might be coming soon. Ads. Oh yeah. Also to the listener that requested us to do a watch along. After doing a little bit of the math, it's a little bit harder to do a watch along than it is to do a review. Message us if you just want us to review what you want us to watch, because the watch along might be a little bit more of a pain in the butt. I think we could pull it off. It's not that hard, but just a heads up. Send us a DM. All right, ready to move on to. Go ahead, Brandon.
I have to think through that how we can do a watch along properly. I guess you just keep a running clock at the bottom.
Right.
Go through it, no breaks.
I'd have to have a bunch of different windows open. I'd be clicking through. Because on my side, I mean, just for a little behind the scenes, on my side, I don't see you guys when you're talking. I have to click on it because I've got so many windows open.
Ah, okay.
A lot of times I'm not getting any visual cues. Sometimes I do.
The
I
only
got a
thing
lot of stuff going. I've got 2 recorders going for a backup. I've got all this.
Can you see this? Can you see this?
I can see that.
How about this? Can you see this?
I can see that. Yeah, Brandon, you were going to say?
Like, the only thing I'm worried about is setting it up so that we can hear both each other and what we're watching without what we're watching bleeding into everything that we are saying. You know what I mean?
Right. So, like, that would be on my side. So the only way I can think of doing that, I like that we're having this meeting on while we're recording, but it's fine, whatever. The only way I can think about doing is if I watch it on a separate screen, and that would mean occupying the living room. So we'd have to do it on an off day where my wife's at work or something like that. You know what I mean? For you guys, it's
we can
fine.
do that.
Probably bring it up on a small screen. But for me, any sound that's played for YouTube is going to, unless I mute it, I don't know. I don't really need sound to it.
Oh, I mean, I watch it on my television right over my computer. So
right, I don't have that set up.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's easy for me.
We'll figure it out, though, and we'll get to you, and we'll do it for you because we like you. All right, AEW Weekly. Let's talk about some stuff. Makito showed up and lost.
I don't know if I like him.
Yeah, I tolerate him. Makito showed up and lost. She got a big pop. And the Great Okan. Let's talk about the Great Okan. So the Great Okan came over and did some shows and stuff. And then he rode a giant dick. He got his ass slapped in a hamburger restaurant. He ate a giant hamburger. And he also fed up some ladies of the evening on Fremont Street in Las Vegas. And it seems like Great Okan's living his best life over here in the United States. Brandon, thoughts?
You're muted.
Oh, God damn it. I said my fucking boy. It's big time, pig time in Vegas. Happy to see it. The invasion.
Have you come around a little bit on the Great Okan? He saved a kid, gave the kid pancakes. He rode a giant dick.
That's right. Plus, I got a little tiny toy of him from Jimmy. It's fun. All of my stances, if I hate the guy, I'm at 49%. And then a little plushie tips me over to 51, and now that's my dog, Great Okan, perving out on the strip.
I love it. Chris, thoughts on Great Okan?
Yeah, I love the fact that he comes to the U.S. and then just completely loses it. As soon as he gets here, stuffs his face, rides a dick. The riding the dick was
so good.
He was so happy to be riding the dick. Riding the dick, stuffing his face, and I'm sure it didn't just stop with strippers. I'm sure there were non-photos of the hookers that came later.
The ladies of the night. And also, he and Jeff Cobb interfered in a tag match. It was a little clunky, but big old Great Old Carney, as Jim Ross called him, the man from the Orient. The man from the ornament. The man from the Orient. Oh, no, he said that guy. Who did he call the person from the Orient? Oh, that was Makito. Makito was the person from the Orient. Of the Orient. Like, a carpet. And the Great O'Carney, he called that guy. They interfered. Jeff Cobb and Great O'Con interfered in the tag match. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I did notice that Jim Ross is like slowly becoming less and less interested in anybody that shows up, which we'll get to later with Stokely Hathaway. But when he came out, he's just like, I've never seen this guy before in my life. So yeah, pretty funny, man. But they was a little clunky to say the least. And they had a good match going. They kind of fucked it up, but who cares? It's interesting to see Jeff Cobb and Great O'Connor in the first place. I was thinking, like, if I was there, that was something that would have genuinely excited me. If legit out of nowhere, as far as I was concerned, the Great O'Connor came rolling down, throwing Trent Beretta through a table with the iron fist.
Oh man,
It's
I
not
would
bad
have
TV.
my pants would have exploded. I got so boned up. Chris,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was clunky, but I was excited and I was happy to see those two. It was the two that you wouldn't expect, just two dudes. It wasn't like, oh, here's these top dudes that, of course, you knew they were coming. It was, they did a good did a good job of kind of keeping it under wraps. You didn't know that they were going to be there, but I'll get into it later because it relates to later on what we're going to talk about. But I got some serious fucking beef with JR.
All right,
40 years into your
relationship.
40 years into your relationship.
Well, this has been going. Yeah, this has been going on. No, this has been going on because I'll bring up some other stuff. It just notches, just like chipping away at him.
This man from the Orient.
One
cool thing about Ocon, he's riding dicks. He does the AEW show and then flies back. And the very next day, he was on color commentary for the Stardom show. And he's getting in physical altercations with people from Stardom. Not to go touring him or shoving each other, pointing at each other. Great O'Con is all over the place. They can't get enough of him. Bushi Road's like, stick him everywhere. Save the kid.
Yeah.
Riding dicks, who gives a shit? Have him save a kid and feed him pancakes on the dick. Do it.
I'm jealous, man. Great O'Con's making me want to go for a run or something. That lust for life. He's an international businessman.
He looked legit stoked when they showed them, who are these men, run into the ring, and Great O'Con looked like he was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm having a good old time. This is the crowd. This is fun. Everybody's not clapping. They're screaming.
I guess they're
shall we move
slowly
on?
like, sorry, I was just going to say, I guess this is them slowly introducing what we're going to see at this Forbidden Door, like one group at a time. So there's not many people that are like, well, we've never seen him on TNT before. And if we have, you should probably know who they are anyway. Like, that's probably where we're trending with a month ago here.
I'll talk about this right now, but we're going to talk about the good old Tony Khan presser after the show. So he did mention he said that he said he has no metrics on this, but he thinks that the majority of AEW fans don't know anyone from New Japan, which makes me think. Which, we always just assume it's the super dorks that watch this shit. But I think it's indie wrestling fans, and they don't necessarily know New Japan. He said in there, and he's like, yeah, he thinks the majority of people that watch this don't follow New Japan at all. Thoughts, Bryn?
I have no fucking idea, honestly. Like, I go back and forth on that, who these people are that are watching AEW, right? We've spent a lot of time trying to pinpoint exactly who their target audience is, but I think I probably agree with them. What do you think, Chris? I don't know.
I think he's right. I mean, I never thought about it until you just said that. And then what Brandon was just saying feeds into it. It's, we talked about this a million times. I'll bring it up again. We went to go see New Japan in Madison Square Garden. And after Madison Square Taven won the championship from Ring of Honor, a lot of people left.
Yeah, like at least a third of the people that were there split after the Ring of Honor card was over.
Yeah, and I remember like also earlier on in the card with fucking Enzo and Cass came out, and it sucked all the attention away from Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
And you and I know I wasn't sitting with you, but I know I was still watching, and I was more fascinated that people gave a shit that Enzo was involved in anything. I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on? Who's this?
Like poor timing on Ring of Honor, whoever was running that show's part to not have a gap in between that happening and the next match. But if you remember, the air was sucked out of the arena for almost the entire Tanahashi Zack Sabre Jr. match. So, me personally, I was like, oh, okay, those guys are gone. Let me watch these guys. And I had a hard time getting into it just because there was so much commotion going around. Right. But, I wouldn't be surprised. That makes perfect sense. Like, I would say he was wrong if I wasn't at Madison Square Garden and saw that happen. because I would assume that a majority of those people that were big Ring of Honor fans and that were actually so invested in Ring of Honor, like, we went to a lot of Ring of Honor shows when we first started getting back in. Then they had the New Japan show that Jim, that you and I went to, and we went to Final Battle one year, which is their end of the year pay-per-view. And, AJ Styles, who I really liked, wrestled Jay Lethal, who I didn't care about, and AJ Styles lost. And I was just like, whatever. So I wasn't invested in it. It was cool to see because I never really cared about any of these Ring of Honor guys. It was just something to do and go see the Japanese dudes. But there was a lot of people that were really invested in Ring of Honor. And I would assume that those are the same people that are probably like the same. I don't know if they're the same exact people per se, but they're the same. That's the same mentality, I guess.
Right. I think the mentality
that are very invested in AEW don't give a shit about anything else.
The idea that I'll bounce back to you, Brandon, in a second. The idea that I was always under the impression that people watched New Japan, right? Like people that watch New Japan watch New Japan. Brandon started watching New Japan because we introduced him to it, and he watched New Japan because of New Japan. There are a shit ton of people that only watch New Japan because of Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Buckshot Lariat guy. Like those guys were there, and then when they left, they left with them, which it seems bizarre. Like if I'm a fan of a baseball team and a couple guys get traded, I don't stop liking the baseball team. I might be mad at them because they got traded, but I don't suddenly go follow them. Is that like a basketball thing? I think it might be. You follow your guys around. Brandon,
seems like it. Yeah, it does seem like that's a thing now that people are more a fan of a person than like a team or promotion. But yeah, I enjoy this whole thing with AEW fans that goes on as they bring different characters out of like everybody acts like they knew who this person was before their first AEW appearance and everyone's like in the know, but then it does seem like when it comes to New Japan that just falls off of a cliff. So
because they don't speak English, I bet you that's the big fucking thing.
Probably, yeah.
Right.
To me, like it's not that I never watched Ring of Honor or any of these other indie promotions, but they're just notably worse. And when I was looking for good wrestling, New Japan was kind of like on an island there. So I assumed, hey, these AEW kind of exists partially because these guys were running in New Japan and were big and putting on good shows, and then could speak English and build a competing promotion. I maybe take for granted or don't realize how many people came from that indie world that didn't give a shit about New Japan that are considered themselves like the core AEW fan base. So it's a group of people I really don't know anything about. I just know that I hate their fucking guts because they think BTE is funny.
It's true. All right, shall we move on?
Can I just make one more point too?
Yeah. Sure up.
The New Japan thing. One of the other issues I think that they may have, or that people may have with New Japan that don't really watch it, I think it airs after Impact now on Thursday nights on AXS, but it was airing before when we used to watch it, but it's not a traditional wrestling program. They're clips from live shows, the stories. It's different. And you have to, if you're not used to seeing it, like, we were part of a group of people that watched it when we were much younger and had no access to watching it in with any English commentary whatsoever. We had to figure everything out on our own. But when they brought it, when AXS had it on, it's not a true. So we had kind of had be able to wrap our heads around how to watch this thing that we can't understand what they're talking about and put the pieces together in the storylines on our own. With you're so conditioned to watch wrestling a certain way in the United States. And then they introduced the AXS New Japan product, which is essentially house shows. And, at the time, Barnett and Jim and Mauro Ranallo, and now it's Kevin Kelly and Rocky Romero, probably. I don't know. I haven't watched it. But it's not like, guy comes into the ring, he explains what he's going to do, and then you get the face off, and it's a weekly series, episodic television show. It's basically just chopped up live shows that they do commentary, and they show the backstage promos with subtitles after the fact. So it's not your traditional show. It's actually you have to work to watch that in the beginning. It's not like you can just turn it on. Like you turn on Impact, which none of us watch. You turn on Ring of Honor. When I first started watching Ring of Honor on my computer because it doesn't air in the area, it's a wrestling show. You can pick up on what's going on. They lay it out. The guys are doing promos, but New Japan, they do it differently. And two things. Number one, we know wrestling fans. And number two, it is, like I said, it would be work to watch if you are not familiar with the product.
I ain't watching this shit. Show on Raw again. I hate this show. Let me watch 3 hours of it. Then I'll go on the internet and complain.
Yeah, exactly.
20 weeks in a row. Very interesting. Any final thoughts, Brandon, before we move on to the actual card?
No, I mean, it's probably two types of people, right? Like, I think I was more intrigued by this potential rabbit hole that I could invest time into and be rewarded with something as opposed to just, I don't know, what feels like being spoon-fed a plot line, but there's definitely a larger other bucket. So
I think that's Chris's point when he says,
right,
we know wrestling fans. They don't like working hard. That's you, listener. You don't like to work.
You fucking bozo.
Fucking loser. All right, let's move on to the card. AEW's Double or Nothing. Brandon couldn't make it. We got together. We ate some chips. Chris fed me a Pepsi Nitro, which was fucking disgusting, and I was so stoked on it.
Can we have a review of that real quick?
What's that? The Pepsi Nitro?
The Nitro?
I think it was terrible.
What the fuck? And I actually went online today.
Yes.
And I wanted to read because it was in my refrigerator. I was like, I'm throwing this out. I wanted to read reviews. And
real quick. Let me explain if no one knows at home. So basically, you know, a can of Guinness, and it's got a nitro canister in it. Well, this is Pepsi with a nitro canister. You crack it open, you pour it as hard as you can into a glass, and it's supposed to taste like draft, I guess. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so the story behind this is I walk past the end cap or the little, you know how Superman's there's the end cap and then there's the corners of the end cap that have stuff on them. It was on the corner end cap. I must have walked past it 50 times. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm buying this shit. I want to see what it tastes like because I don't drink regular soda. I drink diet soda if I do drink soda. So I buy it. I chill it. I pour it. I crack it. I pour it like it says. It looks like a Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
I taste it. It tastes like flat fucking soda.
Yeah,
that's what it tastes like.
That's exactly what it was.
And I don't care. And then I went online today because I was like, "Is somebody like this?" And I went online today and they're like, "Well, you know, one website actually said like the undiscerned palate would just think it tastes like flat soda, but there's a deep richness. It's fucking soda, and but it was like in the beginning they were like it was saying like this is for people that don't like the
flavor,
the shock of the carbon dioxide when it hits your tongue, the bubbles. It's like that, that gas that enters your system when you drink soda. No, everybody fucking likes that. That's why you drink it. That's why fountain soda tastes better than canned soda. It tastes better because all soda tastes different. Same brand tastes different wherever you get it. Mm-hmm. Give a shit what anybody says. This was the fucking, because I think Brandon, I don't know if you remember New Coke, but when I drank it, I was like, whoa, we got a real New Coke situation going on here. So then I give Jimmy a can.
Because I get stoked because I've been looking forward to drinking it.
Right.
And being the forever skeptic, I assumed Chris was full of shit.
Right.
And I was going to try it and it was going to be good. And I was wrong. And I will eat my words. Go ahead.
I'll give you the rundown of this. So I give Jimmy one. And he cracks it and he's drinking it. And this is how this goes. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. This is, it's like it's creamy. It's so foamy and creamy. And I'm like, does it taste flat or did I do something wrong? Oh, no. It's so good. It's so good. No, seriously, does it taste flat or did I do something wrong? I think it tastes flat. No. It's fucking terrible. I can't stand it. Like it took like 5 minutes for me to work out of them. It was terrible. It was like, this is so good. Give me the rest of yours. Dump mine into his cup. Started drinking it.
It was disgusting.
Fuck, it was terrible.
I was going to choke it down just to prove Chris wrong. Make him feel like I was gaslighting him.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. So there you go.
So bad.
That was the pay-per-view. Thank you very much for tuning in this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Brandon, questions?
If the target audience is the sophisticated Pepsi drinker, I'm neither of the two, so I'll probably pass on the Nitro Pepsi.
Yeah, those were the shot.
Go
ahead.
I said I got 2 of them left.
There you go. I got his address if you want to send them to him. We had some chips and some dips. Well, we didn't have any dips, but we had some chips and drank coffee. And I drank that nitro, and I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning, and that'll explain why I watched the Tony Khan
The scrum. Tony Scrum.
Khan presser. So, all right, let's start with the card. Pre-show. Hook and Danhausen defeated Tony Nese and Mark Sterling via pinfall. Brandon, thoughts?
Skipped. No chance in hell I'm watching this.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, complete waste of time.
Match on the card. Singles match.
I should say real quick before we go into it. So I was
oh yeah, that's right.
I was taking I didn't go to this thing, so I was taking Zyrtec, and I was told I got it from, it was just like whatever my girlfriend had in the cabinet, and it was like unlabeled. She's like, yeah, those are the like the day ones, uppers. They were not the uppers. So I just zonked myself for like almost 20 hours thinking, I was like, man, I must be really sick. I'm taking Dayquil and passing out. And here I was just repeatedly giving myself like nighttime medicine. So I ended up finding some like bootleg stream where it was like a sequence of Daily Motion videos. So I was in and out of this whole thing. If it was something I didn't want to watch, I was kind of just blowing past it. So I didn't get the full 7-hour live experience that you guys did. Just note that up top.
We were also in and out of it, falling asleep. All right, let's start. Singles match. Wardlow. Was this in a cage? I don't remember.
No.
That was Sean Spears.
Wardlow defeats MJF via pinfall, and he powerbombed him 10 times?
Something like that.
Good stuff. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, squashed him. I guess most of the drama around this was whether MJF was going to show up at all, right? So they announced shortly beforehand that it's actually happening, and MJF gets fucking squashed. So no wonder he's pissed. Guy's been trying to build up a brand despite never really wrestling, and when he does, he gets the living shit kicked out of him by his lackey. So
I think he earned this in the storyline.
Yeah,
this was good. I couldn't see this happening any other way. He tried to cheat multiple times. Wardlow beat the fucking piss out of him, and Wardlow wins. It was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Chris, thoughts?
No, I thought this was couldn't have been done any other way. Couldn't have been done better.
Right. I did like that they carted him off on the gurney with the air mask over his face, over his eyes and nose. That was good. And I'm not gonna talk about the fucking rumors. I don't fucking care about the rumors, but I do like that someone reported that MJF. I checked, and MJF had a ticket booked out of Las Vegas. So because he's leaving, and it's like, yeah, that's everybody has a ticket out of Las Vegas, except for probably fucking John Moxley, because he lives there. So well, good job with your reporting. Go ahead, Chris.
Also, what airline gives you any information on their passenger list anymore?
Right, nobody.
Fucking lies.
What is this nonsense?
The fuck.
So there you go.
That's a big lame to care situation. It's like, it's not like it's a fucking quarterback for the, like Tom Brady's quitting the team the night before the Super Bowl. I mean, not that would be a big deal to you, Jim, but it's like this guy was
Tom
a
Brady
nobody.
is. It's a big deal.
This guy was a nobody 18 months ago. He's like barely warmed up to me, and it's like, oh, his contract. Who gives a shit? Give a shit about this guy.
I mean, if it is like, the rumor is that he has 2 years left on his contract. He makes a lot less than the newer guys that were signed, and supposedly he wants a new contract, but he doesn't want to re-sign for 2 years. He doesn't want to fulfill his 2 years. He just wants more money. He wants him to according to the rumor, they wanted to sign him to a longer contract for more money. And he just wants more money at 2 years with 2 years left, and then test out the market. Who the fuck is going to agree to that? That doesn't make any sense. So even if this story's true, it just sounds stupid. This doesn't make any sense. Get off it. Enjoy your television show. Stop giving a shit about the money being made backstage. How the fuck does that affect you? Brandon, thoughts?
I also want more money, and I will refuse to give up anything on my side of the negotiation. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a big who cares, lame to care. You're lame if you care.
Yes, agreed. Let's move on. Tag team match. The Hardys, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, defeated the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, via pinfall. Brandon, thoughts?
Did you guys see, I think it was on Dynamite, the Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy promo about them cosplaying as the Hardys.
Yes, that was pretty good. I did not catch Rampage last week, but apparently the Bucks came out dressed like the Hardys, which is
they
pretty
did,
good.
yeah.
Cutler was dressed like Lita with the thong.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The only reason I bring it up is because I realize I just almost never hear Jeff Hardy do extended promos, and in AEW where they don't write them for you, they let him go for a minute, and I was like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. What was that?
Yes, he is.
Somehow in 45 seconds he made himself look so insane. But I'll give it to the Young Bucks. Like, as much as I don't like them, they always end up having entertaining matches during these pay-per-views. The Hardys are starting to go though, where even Jeff is having a hard time covering for Matt, whose hips are welded together. So
right. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I can't remember any of this match. I don't think I watched one lick of it. I think there was a little bit of laughter at what the fuck they were doing. Like, to your point where he was saying, like, Jeff Hardy lost his mind. He's doing this performance piece.
Yes.
That only he understands and he thinks is brilliant.
I love
like, I don't know. He's doing
faces on it. It's so good.
He's doing these like weird claps at spaces and like these like kind of like robot dances. I don't know what's going on here, dude. He's quite the madman. He really is.
I love it.
But I really didn't pay attention. This match lost me. I think somebody showed up during this match. I think a friend of mine showed up during this match, and I really wasn't paying attention. And I really wasn't really looking forward to it. This match in my mind was meh. I didn't really give a shit. What are the Hardys going to do that we haven't seen yet? And what are the Young Bucks going to do that we haven't seen yet?
So, I was glued to this with undying concentration. Next up. Singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Anna Jay is announced as the competitor against Jade Cargill out of nowhere. You're kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? We get a lot of interference. We get a lot of debuts. Jade Cargill defeats Anna Jay, by the way, in about 7 minutes. We get Stokely Hathaway comes out to help out at Jade Cargill, I guess. And Athena finally shows up in AEW. Apparently, she's been signed for a little while. They were just waiting to debut her. She comes out. The crowd fucking goes nuts. And suddenly, AEW's fucking women's division is pretty stacked. So this happened out of nowhere. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, they have some much needed depth considering I think everyone was watching this like, why are we doing this again? To the point where they even fucked the story up where Jade Cargill offered her a rematch and then was like, why does she deserve a rematch? I shouldn't be fighting her. Well, you only because you said so. That's why we're here. That's how
there was no one else
kind of getting. So yeah, those two, adding those two was much needed. I don't know where they'll go next with here. If it's Athena, but Stokely Hathaway, I think that will be entertaining. We talked about this before when he was still Malcolm Bivens. Apparently I was listening to some other show. They said that they worked that out from his non-compete in like 12 hours or something. So
right.
I think that they had their eye on him and got him right in there. So I'm assuming they have some plans for those two. But other than that, not very memorable, right? We're trying to knock some off here. We know we have 13 to go still or something.
Yeah, I did enjoy. I mean, it felt like a coalescence of the women's division, though. I did enjoy that. Chris, thoughts? Anything to say about JR?
Well, yeah, this is when he said that. Well, I got some more for JR. We're gonna wait. We'll wait on JR because it's a big one that I hate. It really annoyed me. No, this was good. This match was a train wreck. Number one, I'm not gonna lie. The match itself was not good, but it was a means to an end. Like we said before, it was a mess. It was just a mess.
It was,
I mean, but it told the story, right? I mean, that was a means to an end. I'm not knocking them. Like I said it when we were watching the matches. This is where the problem was lying in the women's division. There's only so many times you could wrestle Toni Storm, Ruby Riott, or Ruby Soho, any of the other talented. Jamie Hayter, any of the other experienced women's wrestlers on the division on the roster, and that was the issue that I had with Jade Cargill winning this championship belt in the first place is that there are points where she needs somebody with a lot of experience in the ring with her. Fine, it's not a knock on her. Like we talked about, she's an experiment happening in front of our eyes, and she's getting better every week. I did not understand. I wish they would have laid off the baddies. We've established Jade Cargill as a monster. She's unbeatable. She doesn't need two flunkies saving her in her matches. I think that's a little silly. And I think it just was kind of not in line what you're trying to do with this character. And Athena comes out and immediately reminds me why she makes me cringe every time I see her on the television.
She was doing that NXT entrance, man. She was she was doing a little dance on the steps.
Oh God, she is back to acting like no human being has ever acted on their way to a fight in their life. Yeah. So I don't understand. I think it's like gotten to be a trope with this like sassy woman argument with the finger up in the face and the head cocks. Britt Baker does it all the time.
It's how women fight. You never saw women fight before?
No, it's not how women fight. Get out. There are real women fighting on television, and it is much more dramatic and better than that. So, yeah, it's silly, and I wish that they would stop doing it. But yeah, whatever. We're here, and you know their women's division is definitely like in one night filled itself out really well.
We're building factions. That's what we're doing. That's AEW. We had a whole episode about it last week.
Yep.
We're building factions. Now we got lady factions. It's about time. They needed to start doing this. Any more thoughts on this?
Chris, man, women really fighting, not real women fighting. Just slight correction.
As opposed to the robot women fighting. The women made of clay. There you go. 6-man tag match. House of Black versus Death Triangle with Alex Abrahantes and the little tiny Penta Obscuro in the ring. Came to the ring. This is fun, and we get the finally we get the what's her name? The 19-year-old girl that turned evil. Brandon, what's her name?
Cheerleader Melissa.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart shows up and sprays black stuff in Pac's face, and now he's blind again. And pretty good match. Brandon, thoughts?
I thought this was really entertaining, but the ending was probably the first time of a few times throughout this pay-per-view, which comes up usually where it's like, did we have to save every culmination of every plot line for this one night where they ended a pretty awesome match with the like zombification of Julia Blackheart. So
I loved it. I thought it was a fun match. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I thought this was really fun. I think I think this is one of those things where there are times in watching wrestling where, you know, WWE is guilty of this, where it's like, you should have ended it. Where are we going to go from here? And this was one that just needed to end. So ending it at a pay-per-view, you this like lower level of sending the fans home happy with a conclusion. Excuse me, it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. I liked everybody involved in this match, so it was a lot of fun to watch.
That was good. All right, next up, this is where bathroom break happened. I was actually at this point while we were watching live, I'd been holding a poop in, and I was holding it in for a specific match. It was here that I had to go. The Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finals. I'll say it now. We were watching it live, and as soon as Adam Cole came out with Bret Hart, Owen Hart pants on, we were like, well, we know who. Plus Samoa Joe had a title. We knew he wasn't going to win. We were like, okay, I guess he's winning. And then when the second match happened, we'll talk about both. Britt Baker comes out and she had matching gear. We knew who was winning that. So Adam Cole defeated Samoa Joe via pinfall, and Britt Baker defeated Ruby Soho via pinfall. And then they had a presentation, and Owen Hart's wife, whose name escapes me. Do we know who her name is? Brandon Chris?
Martha.
Slow and Hart.
Slow and Hart. Cheerleader Melissa.
Martha Hart came out, and she did a little speech, and there you go. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about this whole thing is Tony Khan, the little fucking creep. I saw this news article today that was like, well, I paid for another hour of pay-per-view time, which I didn't even know that you had to do. You had to pay by the hour for pay-per-view. I thought it just went on as long as it was. You're hosting the event, because I didn't want to impact Martha Hart. I wanted to let her talk for as much time as possible. So basically, like, if the one criticism was that the show's too long, blame Martha Hart. I was like, and I'm like, you fucking bozo. They're long every time. You don't need to throw Owen Hart's mother under the bus as to why this was an hour longer.
Owen Hart's wife.
It's his wife.
Sorry,
like his mother. It may look like his mother now, but he died a long time ago.
Regardless,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I watched the old Scrum too, and yeah, he'd mentioned that. He also mentioned that before the show, they had mentioned that Tony had bought an extra hour to cover any possibility of the NBA game going into overtime, which we were sitting around talking about it, and I was like, you think anybody's like last minute, like, oh shit, this NBA game went really long, let me see if the AEW is on, let me drop $50 real quick, check it out? I don't know.
No,
I guess you'd have to rent it ahead of time. Yeah. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, you took all the I couldn't even remember these matches now that we're bringing them up. And I'm a big Samoa Joe fan,
Yeah.
And I can't remember these matches. And I think the reason why is because of what you just said. You took any semblance of surprise out of those matches with Adam Cole coming out in Owen Hart gear. As soon as we said it, he came out in pink, he's winning. And it wasn't even, I said that Britt Baker was winning before we even saw her, because now you're going to have the couple win the Owen Hart tournament, the Owen Hart Cup. And it was like, okay,
also, that Britt Baker doesn't lose as well, which is,
yeah, she never loses. Who she fucking, no, now I know, I'm only kidding. I'm trying to be a wrestling fan. No, it's, It was just so obvious. It was painfully obvious. And like you said, Samoa Joe has a title and he has a story. As uninteresting as it is, he is doing something. And Adam Cole is doing nothing. And then he comes out in the Owen Hart gear. It's just too many things were written on the wall for that. And it just took me right out of it. And the second match is the same thing. She came out when Britt Baker came out in pink. It was the same thing. You knew who was going to win. And then you were like, how are they going to have Adam Cole standing up there with Ruby Soho, whatever her name is now. Ruby Soho. We didn't talk about aged metal, half-assed metal guitar player using guitar as gun. We didn't talk about that.
So let me talk about that real quick. So Britt Baker has a guitar player playing her out to the ring.
The Fozzy guy.
Song. Hold on. I haven't revealed that part yet.
Geez, sorry.
So he plays, and there's like these long shots of him playing guitar, staring at the camera for like a minute of this play into the ring, and then finally we're watching. We're like, who the fuck is this dude? Who is this dude? Is this Marty Friedman? Who is, like, we couldn't figure out who the fuck this dude is. And then they put at the bottom, we're like, oh, it's guitar player for Fozzy. I was like, okay. We're not talking about Keith Richards out here. This is some fucking clown playing guitar.
Well, let's put it in perspective. Put it in context here. Our friend that was over is an aged guitar player,
yes,
and a metal and hardcore guitarist, and he knows a lot about these, like, even the cheesy metal guitar players. He knows who they all are, and he had no fucking clue who this dude was.
He guessed. He said, I think he's the player for Fozzy, but it wasn't revealed. It was revealed too late. I was like, what the hell is this?
Like, don't you let us know that right off the bat?
Right. Like, and bro, playing her out to the ring for those at home or in the audience that have no idea who this old man is.
Well, but AEW is like, well, I mean, if you don't know who it is, maybe you should just watch BTE.
That's true. Brandon thoughts?
No, that's it. Fucking Brutus Fozzy was their big.
Brutus.
Yes. What do you think his name is? Bobby Fozzy?
I think he's Chuck Salamanca. Chuck Salamanca, I'm going to say his name is. So Britt Baker wins. I don't know what this means. Does this mean they get a title match? Do we know? Is there any
bragging rights. I don't know.
Yeah, what is this? Does
Just
she get to
talk a bunch
carry
of
around a
shit.
trophy? They gave him a belt.
Richard Ward, also known by his stage name, the Duke.
Oh, the Duke of.
Oh, he's the Duke.
of
The
Earl.
Duke.
The Duke.
Isaac Hayes, in other words.
Yes.
Did you hear Grunge in New York? If they you wonder if this is becoming a big deal, and then shit like that just validates that it very much is not. That the Duke Fozzy is has a major 1 minute plus appearance during this event, which is just bananas.
Very awkward. Next up, this is where I wanted to poop. 6-person mixed tag match. America's top team of Ethan Page, Scapio Sky, and Paige Van Zant defeated Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti via pinfall. Brandon thoughts.
This is when I dropped out. I'm like, this thing's going on for far too fucking long. Let's cut it from here instead of the end. So full transparency, I skipped this, and I skipped Kyle O'Reilly too because he's pretty boring. Even though I heard the match was good.
Chris, thoughts?
I'm gonna have to say that this was probably the most important match of the night, and the reason being was, Scapio Sky winning or the shitbag and his girlfriend losing meant that this storyline between all these people is now officially fucking over.
It's over.
He can't challenge for that title anymore.
Nice.
Good fucking riddance. Go wrestle on Dark.
Scapio is going to lose the title immediately, and then we're going to get him back in the title picture again.
No.
Paige Van Zandt looked pretty good out there, though, man, for her first ever
did.
match. I was a big fan.
She wasn't putting her fingers in anybody's face, though, was she?
Yeah, big hiney. All right, next up, singles match. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Darby Allin. I didn't pay attention to any of this. How was it, Chris?
It was Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin. I think it was a pointless match with
Under
two
10
dudes
minutes.
that are fun. It was under 10 minutes. I said it to you the other night. I say it all the time. I think that Kyle O'Reilly is one of the best sellers in professional wrestling. I don't think he gets enough credit for it. But this is where this guy is. Go let him fight for the TNT championship. There's his spot. Get him out of the tag team. Get him, have him be I think he should always be a heel because he's kind of good as a heel. But just have him go fight Scapio now. And
is there any reason that this match should have been on besides to get Darby Allin on the card and then have him lose? That's the question. There was no reason this 10 minutes.
Martha.
No.
Fucking Martha Hart fucked it all up.
Absolutely not. There did no reason this should have been on here.
No, this is a great main event for Rampage.
Yep.
That's it.
Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Thunder Rosa wearing she had a custom-made getup on that had the name of the Uvalde, Texas school, like said Uvalde on it for the school that got shot up. Which is pretty cool. And she's gonna auction it off, and proceeds go to the families, which is pretty cool. She defeated Serena D. Pretty damn good match. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, that is cool. I like that. I think it was on Dynamite. They addressed that happened and didn't just avoid it because it was that day. But then they cut to fucking Excalibur, and it's there's nothing funny about the situation at all. But it is kind of ridiculous to talk about something so serious, and it's a guy in a luchador mask.
This is the world we're in.
It's so bizarre.
Everything with him trying to be serious is always.
Anytime he has to handle something serious in a luchador mask, I'm like, oh man, this is a tough look.
Here's the segue.
What are they gonna do? Give it to JR, and he's like, high school, people.
This will segue pretty good. So without getting into it too deep, we were. The wedding of Charlotte Flair and Andrade was this weekend.
Yes.
And Jimmy had made a mention, I want my wedding to be like that. And I said, what would aged luchadors shirtless with giant belt buckles and masks on? And that's what it was. And it was fucking awesome. So this is the world we're in. This is the world we're in.
Dude, Charlotte fucking hates her dad. I was analyzing those wedding photos and videos, and she's giving the fakest little tight-lipped smile every time Rick is touching her.
I think she's ready for at any point for him to embarrass her. I think she lives that life.
You could just feel it, yeah.
Did you ever see
this
the
match?
There was.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna totally change the subject because it doesn't really matter. Did you ever see they did the Ride Along series on WWE Network where Charlotte and Ric Flair rode along in a rental car and Flair just fucking moaned the whole fucking time?
I didn't see that one.
Oh my God, no.
It's a good one. And she's just like mortified looking that this fucking grandpop is just complaining the whole ride. She's like, come on, Dad, have some fun.
What's he complaining about?
He wanted a limousine.
Oh, well. You got in your car? He probably got in the car. He's like, I'm not getting in this car unless it's got car seal.
Get a car. Oh, just get a car. Car seal. So the match is good, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I thought this was really entertaining. Everything they do is intentional. Like probably the highest quality women's title match they've had. I think it's important for any of these belts, especially that women's one after what Britt Baker did to like get off to a hot start with your tenure as champion, and Thunder Rosa nailed that there.
Yeah, Chris, thoughts?
Fantastic. I really enjoyed this. This is one of the ones I was really looking forward to on this card.
Yeah, she rolls, Thunder Rosa. So Serena Deeb. And this was a damn good match. And thank God it didn't come after this match. Anarchy in the Arena match. The Jericho Appreciation Society of Chris Jericho, Danny Garcia, Jake Hager, and Angelo Parker and Matt Menard defeated the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston and Santana Ortiz versus by technical submission. Man, they would have been fucked. They would have been a dead duck if they came after this match. Brandon, thoughts?
I mean, holy shit, man. I won't take up too much time. I'll let you guys go, but more of this. I don't know how you can. I imagine live this wasn't a blast for people there because you probably can't see most of it. But if somehow you can figure out the formula to like do a lot of this without ruining it for the live crowd, it doesn't. This is what we like. Like it just doesn't get any more fucking entertaining than this match. But I'll let you guys extrapolate.
Chris, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
This is right now like a half a step below Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn.
And I disagree. I think it's above that.
You think so?
I think it's the best match of 2022 by far.
I think that it's right there. And this is, listen, the bar with Knoxville and Zayn, that set the bar for me extremely high. So to say that it's just a matter, it's not like one did anything better. It's just right. I think I got more laughs out of holy shit than holy shits. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, Pontius in a denim Speedo. That may be what puts it over. Wee Man was body slamming people. That may have been what put it over. But man, was this fucking match great. I mean, just the fact that they went the first half, maybe more with Wild Thing playing on an endless loop. It was on a fucking loop. I mean, this was FMW 93. I mean, it was just like, it was so good. Everybody was so good in it. I'm going to point out something that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but it's just occurred to me. One of the biggest things in this match that happened, out of all the craziness, right? All the insanity that happened, the biggest thing that happened was it put Danielson over as a fucking badass because he kicked the shit out of Jake Hager. Jake Hager's supposed to be the big MMA guy. He beat the shit out of Hager and Jericho at the same time. And I think that might get glossed over. But
don't forget Big Ange as well.
He looked so fucking good in this match. That, I mean, it was just, I can't say enough good things about this. The fact that Mox wrestled in his vest.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jim. I don't want to talk too much about it.
So, yeah, as soon as the match started and the music started playing and they immediately ran into the crowd, the first thing I said, I was like, this is fucking FMW. This is amazing. Then the music doesn't stop. And we were saying, like, man, it'd be amazing if they just played Wild Thing the whole fucking match. Jericho comes over to the fake soundboard, which looked like a cable box. And he goes, he looks at the camera and goes, I fucking hate this song. And starts smashing the soundboard. The music stops. It was so nuts. So, Brandon, you said like it was a situation where it was like if you were there, you kind of couldn't see everything. But they had shit all over the arena. So if you wanted to see it, you could watch one of the fights. There was shit happening in the concourse. There was shit happening in the ring. There were 2 other fights going on. They went in the fucking. There's the whole thing with the fucking merch and the mustard. And the guy that was with us at watching the show hates mustard. He was like, "Oh my god, it's disgusting." They go into the fucking freight elevator. So it's Daniel Garcia and fucking what the fuck's his name? God damn it, Eddie Kingston. They go into the freight elevator, and we're like, they're dead. I was like, we were theorized what was going to happen. 2 weeks from now, suddenly a freight elevator in another building opens up, and they're still fighting. That would be amazing. It was so choppy and fucked up. Like all the coverage, the cuts were real bad. You could not miss Jericho basically talking to everybody the whole time. He's having full conversations out in the open about what to do here, where to go there, what to do that. But it was so fucking chaotic and so much fun. And I was thinking about this after the match and after the show and after a couple days to digest. You know, this show in general was full of screw ups. Like stuff went wrong. Guys missed spots. Guys fell. Apparently everybody was trying to fucking sharpshooter, but nobody knew how to use one. But this is what we like about AEW. If we want to watch the refined, clean, perfectly cut, perfectly edited show, there's 2 of them on. It's one of the biggest it's the biggest fucking wrestling company in the world. But it's fucking boring. We like this. This is what we want. This was totally different than anything else in the card. It was absolutely insane. And it was like done in 25 minutes. And then they showed the poor staff. There was pictures of the poor staff cleaning up after him. This was fucking brilliant. And like Chris, I mean, I'm going to reiterate what Chris said. Daniel Bryant looked like a fucking maniac in this.
And he took the loss.
He takes the loss.
Still
and he
looked fucking amazing.
He didn't tap out. He
Exactly.
didn't get pinned. He passed out because he's fucking nuts.
He passed out. He passed out getting choked with a ring rope, right. and having a half crab on him.
Right.
He's getting bent in every direction. Can I just say that back to what you said? Production gaffes abound. I mean, periods where they were showing Jericho and he was talking to the ref. Full-blown conversation. And
She's
in my opinion,
over and he's like, and the other guy's like selling an injury. Like they should have cut away to any other shot. We were complaining during the match, but go ahead.
But it took nothing away from it, right? I mean, it took nothing away from it, and it's certainly not Jericho's fault.
No,
I mean, look, if you go into that match, or you would assume that you go into any match with Jericho. I don't care if there's 100 guys in the match, right? If you go into a match and Jericho's a part of it, he's the captain. Yeah. He's the one that tells everybody where they got to do and where they got to go and what they got to do, including the ref.
Right.
But yeah, this match was tremendous.
We didn't even mention Eddie Kingston shows up with a fucking gas can. Go ahead.
Okay. So now you mentioned it. I didn't notice this when it happened. Eddie Kingston comes down with a gas can. Fucking amazing. I mean, amazing. It was so good.
He's bleeding. And his face is fucked. He's got blood all over his Yankee
What a
shirt.
visual.
I mean, yeah.
Right? I'll never forget that. That'll always come to my mind when I think of him now.
This is one of the, watching wrestling my entire life. I'm a 46-year-old man. I've been watching wrestling almost my entire life. And that image is burned in my brain up there with Hogan dropping the leg on Savage, up there with the fucking Zamboni and the beer truck. I mean, these are things that you don't forget.
Right.
And moments. That's one I'll never forget because I can't remember.
The other company talks about moments all the time. This is absolutely up there.
I can't remember a wrestling match from beginning to end to save my fucking life. And most wrestling fans can't. It's the moments that you remember. He's coming down to the ring with a gas can. This story, he was burned alive 2 weeks ago. This story tells itself. Excalibur, I didn't catch this until I watched it I saw the clip on Instagram. Because we were like talking and screaming. He didn't hear the commentary. Excalibur says Eddie Kingston's got a can of gasoline. And Jim Ross goes, well, we don't know what it is. We think it's gasoline, but we're not sure. What the fuck are you doing?
This can from the Orient.
What the fuck are you doing, dude? I've gotten to the point, I said this last week, I'll say it again. This dude is starting to look like he'd rather be anywhere but where he is. Right? I think this is pure conjecture that this dude thought that by working with AEW it was going to catapult him back into the WWE. And he may be realizing now that it's not. And now he's not interested. And I'm going to reverse it all the way back to New Japan coming to the U.S. and playing the Pyramid in San Diego, I believe it was. And he's doing commentary, Josh Barnett. Fucking shit all over everything they did the entire show. That didn't make any sense. Why did he do that? That didn't make any sense. Why did he do that? And then after the show was over, he goes, well, I don't know what just happened here. I'm going back to Oklahoma. Fuck this dude. Like, it's just like you got Eddie Kingston coming down. Look at that fucking visual. Unforgettable. Burned into our brain. And this fucking dude kind of shits on it. Because Vince wouldn't do it like this. Bill Watts wouldn't do it like this. Bill Watts and I work for Paul Boss. You see, and it's
well,
like,
luckily
fuck
dude.
We
were having too much fun to listen to his dumbass.
Well, yeah. And Excalibur goes, well, he says something. I can't quote it because I don't remember exactly, but he says something to the effect of, well, that's what's usually hauled in cans that look like that. Like, shut the fuck up.
Brandon, I'm going to shoot over to you.
God.
One more point. So Eddie Kingston comes in the ring. You know, for listeners at home, we're just going over. If you've already seen it, that's fine. Comes in the ring. He dumps the gasoline on Jericho and Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson loses his fucking shit, starts going after Kingston. The two of them start punching the shit out of each other, which has been teased.
Yeah.
It's been teased for a couple weeks. Also, there was an interview. There was like a whole pre-show build up to the show where Eddie Kingston was saying, I fucking hate you. I hate you, Jericho. Dude, Eddie Kingston is fucking amazing. Brandon, go ahead. Thoughts?
Yeah, you guys nailed it. I mean, like, what does he think is in there? Fucking Neosporin? Eddie's coming out there covered in blood to help everybody out. Like, why say anything?
Salve. It's a salve for all the cuts, everybody.
It's mercurochrome.
Yeah. He's got the gas can of aloe vera. It's so fucking dumb. I think he's like sometimes I get it. Like, he's just, this isn't the way he wants it to be done, and he's old, and some of these kids get on his nerves, and it's like sometimes they get on my nerves too. But boy, not the fucking time. He's clearly over the hill times 1,000 at this point. But I don't want to take away from the match at all. Outside of that, just so fucking entertaining. And like you said, Eddie Kingston coming out with looking like the Men in Black, the sugar water guy. Like,
yes, the sugar water dude. That's
with the alien with the other face on. He's just like staggering. And Excalibur sets it up so perfectly. He's like, he's not coming to wrestle at this point. He wants to kill Chris Jericho. That's what he's coming to do. And you're like, oh fuck. He's clearly concussed. He can barely walk, and he wants more blood. It's like just fantastic, man. More of this, please. It was that's the type of shit that's like reinvigorating, right?
Yeah.
You go 6 hours and you at least get that 25 minutes where it's like you let these guys out there. They have something up their sleeve beyond anything I've seen before.
And we knew it was. I mean, watching at home, you knew it was going to be bloody as soon as they came out in all white. The Jericho Appreciation Society. We're like, oh fuck, they're wearing white. They're doomed. This is great. I can't talk enough about it. You know, I just fucking love it.
I love Eddie Kingston.
My computer just gave me an update saying we have polluted air in Philadelphia right now.
Nice.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Old news. I love Eddie Kingston in just like the cut off Yankees T-shirt, like something you would wear to do yard work. Like doesn't care that he's on TV. He's like, I'm coming out here to fucking work, man. That guy rules.
Fucking Foreman Mills. Chris, any final thoughts on this?
Let's give some credit to Squarehead from 2.0, dude. He took a
his face was so big and red. He looked like one of the blockheads from Gumby.
Oh God.
Yeah, great shit, man. Definitely go out of your way to check that out if you haven't seen. Follow up 3-way tag match. This was tough to follow up, but they actually did a pretty good job. This was a lot of fun. This match, 3-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Jurassic Express defeated Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, and Team Taz. Ricky Starks on the top rope doing the fucking poses, not himself. Ricky Starks is amazing. This was a lot of fun. This match. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, Ricky Starks taking Kota Ibushi's role as a guy that lands on his neck repeatedly there in a match where you think he's going to kill himself. Oh my God. I had the ability, like, because I watched it not live, to take a break after that. So coming back to this fresh instead of rolling right into it, I thought this was also fucking excellent. I really thought that they were going to take the belts off of those two.
Shocked that they didn't, actually.
Not, yeah, I don't particularly care either way that if they do or they didn't, but I was kind of surprised to not see that come to an end there. Keith Lee, like, as corny as he can be at times, when that dude comes sprinting into a front flip outside of the ring, it's just bananas every time. What a nightmare to try to take that. So I thought that, really good stuff again.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, that was to me the Ricky Starks show. He's the only one that really did anything.
I loved Hobbs in it. I thought fucking
Swerve
and Keith Lee were great. The only guys I didn't care about were Jurassic Express.
I'm just saying that, like, Ricky's, they were. It was a good match. I really enjoyed it. Everybody was really good in it. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, props to Ricky Starks. He does different shit every match. Like, he's shit. Like, getting his shit in is just different ways of acting like an asshole. Mm-hmm. And I love it. The guy's fucking great. And he saw me, because the first time I saw him, I was like, dude, this guy looks like paper cutter indie dude. And then he just fucking, when he started doing my neck.
Yeah.
When he was neck, I was like, all right, this dude rules.
Okay, Brandon.
How about that little clip that you sent us, Jim, of Ricky Starks yelling at that fan? That type of shit is just so good.
So
I forget
brilliant.
what he says. He's like, you miss. He's like,
yeah.
What did he say? You missed him?
Your daddy should have missed when he came. Your mother's pussy, bitch, or something.
Yeah, like, just
excuse my language. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. He said some wild ass shit.
It was fucking insane.
That fan was right.
No, the fan was probably like, "Yay! He recognized me, acknowledged me." He probably his Twitter bio probably says was called a bitch by Ricky Starks.
Oh, a gazillion %, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing that I need like 10 times more of, is like the last match, is there's little clips that leak out of these guys just trashing people in the front row. I don't get enough of that.
I forget who it was years ago where somebody yelled in the ring, "You suck." And they looked at him and went, "No, I don't suck." Like, that kind of shit. I love that shit.
Singles match for the AEW World Championship. CM Punk defeated Adam Page. The Hangman's reign is over. Brandon, thoughts?
Good stuff. A lot of build up to the Adam Hangman Page story. I imagine some of these AEW diehards were hoping that it was going to go on for a year, 18 months. I don't see this as like an end to a story at all. I think it's an appropriate, like, end of a first act for someone that hopefully has a 10-year career with them. Like, wasn't my favorite title run, but that's okay. He's a likable dude. He came off very well throughout it. Losing to CM Punk, the biggest fucking name going actively right now, probably, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe is like,
in the company. Yeah, sure.
Nothing to be ashamed of at all. CM Punk didn't look great for a couple spots there. He couldn't get that buckshot lariat 2 times in a row at the end. I think that inevitably takes you out of it a little bit, but he's so good in those situations that it really didn't bother me like I would. It could if it was someone else. Like, I almost think he's better when things go off course a little bit. But yeah, I think Tony said they knew their first 4 champions. I'm assuming when they mapped out those 4, they didn't know CM Punk was available. So obvious number 5 there. I'm excited to see what he can do. He's kind of walking this tightrope that only the best can do, kind of, where it's like not totally a heel, but the heel stuff leaks out, and still, I think, in babyface territory. I don't know.
Sure.
So that's like the toughest spot to be in. Hopefully, he can stay there as long as possible.
I think we're going to have a faction of Adam Page diehard fans that are going to start booing him, which is going to happen. We're already starting the CM Punk's just another WWE guy come in, going to just ruin it for everybody. WWE got to stop signing these WWE guys, burying the talent, these fucking idiots online. So it's only a matter of time before he turns heel. I thought that he might get a little bit more heelish, but this was pretty much 2 baby faces going at it. And before I go to Chris, just to point out, CM Punk does a great job of, like, so he screws up 2 buckshot lariats, but at no point did he lose his composure. Did he, like, what do we do next? He kind of just, like, tried it out, kneeled down for a while, put his arm on his knee like it might have hurt. You know what I mean? He made it part of the story. And it kind of comes across as like he's a guy that's not as young as he used to be.
Yeah.
But he's the hottest guy in the fucking company.
I'm assuming Hangman improv too there when he like pretended he was going to do the go to sleep back to him. They like that's good shit that they work back and forth like that, especially at the top of the card of their quarterly pay-per-view. So, respect, and that didn't go past me. I appreciate that kind of shit. So, go ahead, Chris.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I think CM Punk probably, he's a great improviser. Is a guy that uses a finisher that he's never used before, going to nail it perfectly every time. That seems less realistic. And when he didn't nail it, they said, well, this guy doesn't use this move all that often. He's not going to be able to just pull it off. So adds that little aspect of realism to it. I was surprised.
Just to dive in real quick, it adds like a level of complexity to perfect what the Hangman does pretty naturally in his finisher. Like, you got to work really hard at this, and this is something that only the Hangman can do. You know what I mean? It worked into it. Go ahead, Chris.
No, it's just great improv on everybody's in everybody's case on that match. It was just a great match altogether. So very good. Tough to follow that. Anarchy in the Arena, they did it. And because that both of those matches after Anarchy in the Arena could have been buried. They really could have, and they both did a great job of pulling something off that was entertaining after the crowd was already gassed out from that ridiculous match. So good job by everybody.
Very fun show. Brandon, final thoughts on this?
I will say to the CM Punk like Hangman page, people that are going to boo him, I get that Hangman is like Mr. fucking AEW. This is his show. He loves it. I'm not really feeling that angle as to like that CM Punk isn't an AEW guy. Like, is anybody in the wrestling universe was begging for an opportunity like this more than CM Punk? I can't think of anybody. So let's not go there too long where it's the CM Punk's like a phony guy out for a payday. It's a lot better stuff you can do with somebody on the back end of their career. It's great on the mic.
I mean, I'm talking about the fan base. On a storyline, I don't see them doing that.
Well, they did like whatever it was, the Dynamite the night before. They were like, "This is my fucking show." Or Hangman Page was screaming at him, "This is my show. I care about this. This is my home. You're not taking anything from me." Like, they were leaning down that angle that as if CM Punk wasn't an AEW guy. It's like, let's not do this. But anyway, go.
So I watched the presser, the Tony Khan presser, where he lost his fucking mind defending CM Punk against Eric Bischoff. Like, who cares? People asked him questions about MJF. He didn't talk about it. Any MJF situation, he didn't talk about. The people asking the questions didn't press any issues whatsoever. They basically were just like happy to be there. Tony Khan at multiple times went on huge rants about how long the pay-per-view was, defending the length of the pay-per-view. He also mentioned that he was on AOL chats with Lou Thez. He was talked about how much he works, which he didn't say, I work a lot. He basically was like, yeah, I had to go to the show here. Then I flew to Philadelphia because I had to talk to Doug Peterson. Then we flew to the draft. Then I had to fly back out. This dude there ain't enough hours in the day for this guy. And he comes off as a major cokehead. Brandon thoughts.
Yeah, he's a weird fuck. It's one of the things I'm interested in as AEW is like a business, as opposed to just like the TV show piece of it. This is the saving grace to pro wrestling for all these guys. And I'm enjoying watching them having to work around this guy digging holes for himself and everybody else every time he talks. He comes off as really young. He's not that young.
He's not.
I feel like
I'm always shocked that his voice is as deep as it is. I always assume he's like got this little squeaky voice because of the way he looks, all tweaky and everything. Like, hey man, yeah. But he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's some weird shit there. I don't totally without going back in the MJF thing. I don't really know how he's trying to handle this. I thought it would have been fucking great if he just told the story from his perspective. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't come over? Like, if you were actually trying to have a negotiation with this guy that has no leverage, wouldn't it be awesome to just go out and say, yeah, he wants 2 years on his deal, or wants no more years on his deal. He wants way more money. It's somebody that we've clearly invested our time and energy into. He's not as big of a name as the guy he's not getting paid as much as. That's how this works. And just kind of nipped the bud in it there. Nobody else would have had anything else to say. MJF would have looked like a fucking asshole. And that worked from that spot because it's but we don't get that. We don't get a lot of ownership and accountability from this dude. So that's all I got.
Yeah. What else did I want to say? Oh, also, during the pay-per-view, we get a scene of Andrade El Idolo. He says he's sick and tired of the AFO. It's a bunch of fucking losers. And he's sitting in this white room. He's got a suit on, and at the front, the door knocks, and there isn't a person alive that pays attention to this podcast that didn't think old ass Ric Flair is behind that door.
Fucking right.
We thought for sure, but who comes walking in? Good old Roosh of Los Ingobernables. So we get Roosh and Andrade El Idolo together, which should be fun. Chris, go ahead.
Let's go back. Can we go back to the press conference?
Yeah, sure. I
For
just want to
sure,
bring that
yeah.
up because one point I wanted to make was that no one asked him about Roosh. All they cared about it was like, what the fuck, dude?
What is his?
Who is like? My thing is that it's a press conference. You have a chance. You'll never have this chance with Vince McMahon to sit down after a pay-per-view and pick his brain. All you do is just give him the softest fucking questions. Don't prod at all. Like when you say like, oh, I'm not going to talk about the MJF situation. Okay. Another question. How about what would you do if MJF didn't show up? Like, what was your backup plan? That's fine. You're still not talking about the MJF situation, but do you have a backup plan? That's a simple question that would have gotten a little bit more information than we did. We got nothing out of this fucking presser. Except for Tony Khan going, there's one time, you were there. Yeah, I remember you were there too. Remember that time? Yeah, hey, John, how you doing? Did you get to answer your question? You get to ask your question? That's great. Is there something wrong? Oh, no? Okay. That's what it was like. It was completely frenetic. But Chris, go ahead.
So what's his? Yeah, this whole situation. Like, what the fuck do these people care what Eric Bischoff has to say?
Because just like anybody online, who the fuck cares about what who's that guy that's the big podcaster guy? Nobody cares.
Conrad?
No, not in wrestling, in the real world.
Joe Rogan?
The MMA guy. Joe Rogan. Who gives a fuck? People do. The millions of people that listen to him do. So, I mean, if I'm a business owner, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't even mention it.
You own the business.
To be fair, though, to Chris's point,
yeah,
nobody gives a fuck what Joe Rogan says, but it's insane of someone that's Joe Rogan criticizes that's running a business to address Joe Rogan. It's just like, that's the weird part.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why is he like your...
Somebody asked the question.
When you're all right, so like, let's just relate this to like
cocaine.
Cocaine. Let's relate this to boxing or MMA. Okay. If you're the champion, right? And the challenger comes up to you and says, I want to fight you, but I want to do it here, and we're going to do it this way. And that, no, I'm the champion. You have to come to me. I don't go down to you. I run AEW. Now, I know the story behind where all this shit started with Bischoff.
He said something about money.
Well, Tony Khan tweeted out that if Ted Turner knew 1/10 of what Tony Khan knew about professional wrestling, WCW would still be in business. And Eric Bischoff took exception to that because Eric Bischoff knew Ted Turner. And it's like, dude, you have no idea what this guy accomplished. I mean, you're on 2 networks that bear his name, so just you don't know this guy at all. Just stop. And that's where it all started. And then CM Punk said that him coming into AEW was as big as Scott Hall going into WCW. Which was another thing. Was like, no, it wasn't. And it was just kind of silly. And then he just made some comments, and then everybody jumped in. And Tony Khan not being able to separate himself, like wrestling fans on Twitter.
So, made
comments.
He made comments. Who was he?
No,
Bischoff.
Bischoff made those. Okay. Bischoff had said a few things how Tony Khan was wrong about those 2 things.
I know that the thing that Tony Khan in particular was taking beef with was that Bischoff had said that CM Punk isn't making any money for.
Oh, is it drawing any money for that?
That's what.
Yeah, I'm sure
that was an actual question during the presser. Whatever happened, whatever you're mentioning, maybe they got some old school beef. I don't fucking know. But he had mentioned something, and they brought it up in the presser, and then Tony just was like, "Hey, this motherfucker, he's fucking wrong. He makes so much fucking money," and it's kind of funny because CM Punk's just sitting there like,
I don't want to get involved in this.
I'm not
I
saying
don't want to
anything.
talk about money, and I don't want to get involved.
Bischoff before, and they probably talked before. I mean, it's like, who cares?
Well, yeah. I mean, he just, it's whatever it is. It's just so silly. Just can we not? Why? They're all. It's just like it shows you what wrestling is like. Like I'm out, but I don't want to be out. I want to still be part of it.
I love it. I love this shit, man. Like the fact that there's this big of a company and you get exposed to the little cokehead freak that's behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, no, that
out.
is good. That is good.
I just wish that the people asking the questions were better. I wish it wasn't like a bunch of fucking blowjobs asking the questions. Just basically like not asking anything substantial. When you get the guy for 2 hours, he sat there and answered questions. He didn't answer anything because you didn't ask him anything.
Well, because
they already be there. They're happy to be part of the circle. That's all.
Yeah, and they're afraid they're going to get thrown out of it. And also, I'm sure any facts that they think that they'd be able to get from Tony Khan, they've already made up and typed. Right. Any answers that they got, any facts that he could present to them, they were like, yeah, this sounds like this happened today. Let me put
Davey M and Brian Alvarez were both there. Like, what do you need both of them for? What the fuck?
Fucking Davey M.
Davey M.
I wonder how far away I am from like getting a fucking press pass to.
I don't know. We have to get the blue check mark at some point. Probably not too far. We could just start a blog. Yes. Do you really want to put that much effort into something you're not getting paid for?
No.
I don't know. I mean, I think this is interesting stuff. Like, it's just the older I get, the bizarreness behind the scenes with all of these people doesn't exist anywhere else. Like, part of me is like,
oh, that's true. Yeah.
I kind of want to do, want to finagle my way behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I'm of the I don't care. Just make it good. I don't care about how much money you make. I don't care who doesn't like who. I don't give a fuck. Nobody likes anybody, really. There's about 5 people in your life you actually like. One of them, if you're lucky, you're married to.
Also, I spend 90% of my working life surrounded by fucking people that are bizarre. That can't hit the toilet and shit in the corner of the bathroom at 1:30 on a Saturday night. So I don't fucking need anything else. I don't need to inject any other bizarre behavior. Just shut up. People that know, I'm going to tell you how it is.
Get an HR department, will you? Come on.
I'll do some research. Chris won't. That's
I don't know what that meant.
What if
I meant about trying to get a press pass.
Trying to get a press pass. So okay, coming out of this, who do you see just off the top of your head? What do we got going on for CM Punk since he's the champ? Brandon?
I don't know. I've actually tried not to think about it because I don't want to start being the fantasy booking guy.
Right. Well, let's not do that. Then we don't even have to do it.
Do you have anybody that's like exciting to you or
the only person I would be excited that won the title coming out of this weekend, maybe not soon, but at some point in the next 12 months, would be Eddie Kingston. I think that if Eddie Kingston won the title, it would be the biggest story in professional wrestling. Bigger than Daniel Bryan coming from behind. I think it'd be massive.
That's their guy, right? That can like go nuclear.
He's already coming out of this. Boy, I can't wait to see what kind of reception he gets coming out of this on fucking television. I'm assuming he's feuding with Bryan Danielson at some point again. They don't like each other. Nobody gets along with Eddie Kingston. It's great. I love it. Especially with the WWE guys. He doesn't get along with them. Except for Mox. Former WWE guys, I should say. Whatever that means. Pretty much anybody that left WWE is former WWE. Who cares?
You could do like, all right, I'll throw one out there now that I'm thinking about it. You could do Kingston, Danielson, and Moxley Punk. Mm-hmm. That would be fun because we never really got anything. I think maybe they wrestled once in WWE.
Who's that?
Moxley and CM Punk. So
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, maybe.
So that's something that's like what we haven't seen before. But all right,
Chris, thoughts?
No, I don't know. I think we're a few weeks out of anything.
Yeah.
We'll find out this week. I'm sure either this week or next week. Probably next week you're going to get a rematch between the two of them. That's usually how it works. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Out of CM Punk and Hangman. But then there's your bolt. Then that'll sprout from there. But I would assume that we may get a holding pattern in storylines because we got Forbidden Door coming. So somebody from New Japan may be coming.
Yeah.
To harass the shit out of CM Punk. And just don't let it be Minoru Suzuki.
No, fucking Kenta. It's got to be Kenta.
It would have to be. Right?
He's still hurt.
Ooh, to go to sleep.
I think Kenta's still hurt. He hasn't been. He got hurt at Wrestle Kingdom. He got pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he did.
We watched that match. You got that fucking that ladder was unfortunate.
Oh, that was the ladder to heaven.
Oh my god.
You go to Home Depot. Yeah, can I help you, sir? Well, actually, that never happens at Home Depot. I track somebody down at Home Depot. I actually play a game when I go there. I walk around the aisles confused, just waiting to see how long it takes for somebody to help me. They also don't go in Home Depot. Yes, excuse me. I need a what do they get? Like a fiberglass, like what do they call that? An A-frame ladder? Oh yes, sir. We have them over here. What size do you need? 123 feet.
60 feet.
He wants to
touch the moon.
Feet. I want to be able to touch the top of the giant tree outside of my house. I got an acorn up there. I really want.
Like if I was standing here and I wanted to touch the roof of this Home Depot. Do you have one like that?
Yeah, that one. I want to get on your roof. Do a little two-step.
Did you have anybody who can strap it to the top of my Ford Escort? I want to take it home.
I did love Andrade, though, since we circled off of it. Chris is our in-house impressionist. I don't want to steal his thunder, but that promo was so fucking funny when he just comes in and he's like, I did not come to AEW to lose.
It was so good.
Like that was like fucking so funny how serious. All of his shit is so serious.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
So Roosh comes in.
Yes.
No reaction from the audience.
I don't know if they did or not. Couldn't tell.
They didn't. But sometimes they play it. Sometimes they don't. Okay.
Yeah.
If these guys, if the AEW fan base, if Tony Khan thinks that they don't watch New Japan, does he think they're watching fucking AAA?
He was in Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's right. He was. He fought. We saw
Roosh, Bandito, all those
destroy
guys.
fucking Dalton Castle in like 3 seconds.
Yes. Yeah, all those guys are.
Oh, these guys.
I don't know. Roosh is a damn good wrestler.
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic.
He's good, really good wrestler.
I'm glad he's there. These two together is going to be awesome.
Anything else you want to talk about? I got nothing for next week. There's like some multi-man tag match between the Elite and whoever the fuck they're feuding with. The Hardys.
Stardom thing, right?
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll cover that. We already covered the card, but we'll talk about that next week.
Money in the Bank, I think, is this weekend.
Hell in a Cell.
On the Cells this weekend because we were confused whether it was happening at the same time. We're like, wait a minute, is Hell in a Cell happening right now? Can we flip back and forth? Yeah. Go. Anything else? No. Good week. Good to see you. Good to talk to people live again. This is fun. We enjoy doing this. Send us more updates. Tell us how we're doing. Apparently, me saying thoughts and bouncing to people is a big hit. Saying something crazy and going, Brandon, thoughts? Apparently that's a big hit. Talking about
I'm playing shortstop.
Somebody apparently tying weights to my dick and then saying, Chris, thoughts? Apparently. There we go. We're doing something right. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for joining us this week and join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. And for Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we will be back here next week.